Personalization beyond first namey. Subject lines that reference what someone actually bought. Swapping in a first name is table stakes. The real open rate lift comes from referencing a customer's actual purchase, product, or behavior. Open your inbox right now and count how many subject lines start with your first name jammed into a merge tag. Hey Sihan, don't miss this. Use to feel personal. Now it feels like the return address on a robocall. Everyone does it, so it signals nothing. The subject lines that still get opened in 2026 are the ones that reference something specific and true. The ebook someone actually downloaded, the preset pack they bought 6 weeks ago, the course module they started and never finished. That's not a copywriting trick. It's just data you already own, sitting quietly in your customer list, waiting for someone to actually use it. Why High First Namey stopped moving the needle. Every email platform on Earth added first name personalization a decade ago, which means every inbox on Earth has been trained to skim right past it. It's not that personalization doesn't work, it's that a first name isn't personal information anymore. It's a formatting choice. Readers don't consciously register first namey as "this creator knows me." They register it as "this is an automated email with a variable in it," and their thumb moves to the next unread message before the subject line even finishes rendering. Meanwhile, the emails that do get a second look are the ones that couldn't have been sent to anyone else. A line that only makes sense if the sender knows exactly what you bought when you bought it, and maybe even that you never opened the file. The tell. If you could delete the merge tag and the subject line would still make sense to a total stranger. It isn't real personalization. It's decoration. The data already sitting in your customer list. Every purchase that comes through your store. Fan checkout drops a record into your customer list. Name, email, the exact product, the price paid, and the date. That's a purchase history most creators never open again after the sale notification fades. But it's the single richest personalization source you have, richer than any demographic guess. Because it's not inferred, it's observed. You don't need to guess what someone is interested in. You already know, because they paid for it. Before you write a single subject line, spend 15 minutes actually scrolling your customer list and grouping people by what they own. 3 buckets cover most creators. People who bought your entry-level product only, people who bought your entry-level product and one upsell, and people who bought your top-tier offer. Each bucket gets a different message, because each bucket has already told you something true about themselves through their wallet, not through a quiz they filled out. 5 subject line formulas built on real purchases. These 5 formulas all do the same job. Prove you know exactly what this person bought, but they hit different moments in the customer relationship. Swap in your own product names and you'll have a working set by the end of this section. Notice none of these lean on a first name at all. The personalization is entirely in the specificity, the product, the time frame, the behavior. That's what makes a subject line feel like it was typed by a person who remembers you, not generated by a template that happens to know your name. Matching the message to the moment, not just the person. Purchase-based personalization gets even stronger when you layer in timing. The same customer deserves a different email depending on where they are in the relationship. Right after buying, mid-course, or months later when they've gone quiet. Run through this checklist before you send your next broadcast. Which exact product or tier this segment purchased, how long ago they bought it, days, not just recently, whether they've logged in, downloaded, or finished the content, what the logical next step is for someone who owns this specific product, that the subject line would make no sense to someone who didn't buy it. A subject line that only makes sense to one segment of your list isn't a limitation, it's the entire point. Setting this up with store.fan. You don't need a separate marketing stack bolted onto your storefront to run any of this. Every sale made through store.fan already lands the buyer in your customer list with their product, and purchase date attached. And the built-in broadcast campaign tool lets you draft an email and send it to a filtered segment instead of your entire list. Adding a discount code tied to one specific product is a fast way to turn, since you grab the caption pack, into an actual offer. The code only makes sense to someone who owns that product, which is exactly the specificity this whole approach is built on. If you're capturing extra context at checkout, a niche, a goal, a use case, through custom checkout fields, that's another layer you can segment on later. And if replies come back, someone asking a question about the product you referenced, the built-in inbox keeps that conversation in one place instead of scattered across your personal email. If you haven't looked at your customer list in a while, that's the first task, not the subject line formulas. Log in, sort by product, and see what buckets already exist. Creators on the free plan can test this with a single segment and one broadcast. The Pro plan adds Google Analytics, so you can trace which subject lines actually turn into repeat purchases, not just opens. Mistakes that flatten this into another generic blast, referencing the product but sending the email to your whole list anyway. The mismatch is obvious to everyone it doesn't apply to. Being specific in the subject line and then generic in the body, the opening line has to keep the promise the subject made, guessing at purchase history instead of checking the customer list. A wrong reference is worse than no personalization at all. Sending the exact same purchase-based email to every buyer of that product, regardless of how long ago they bought it. Treating this as a one-time trick instead of a habit. The lift compounds when it's how you write every send, not just a launch stunt. One-line test. Read your draft subject line out loud. If you can imagine it landing in the inbox of someone who never bought anything from you and still making sense, rewrite it. Key takeaways. First name merge tags are background noise now. Purchase-specific language is what actually lifts opens. Your customer list already has everything you need. What was bought, when, and at what price. Segment by product owned, not by demographics. A $27 template buyer and a $197 course buyer are different audiences with different needs. Naming the exact product someone owns in a subject line routinely beats a generic broadcast because it reads as a note, not a blast. You don't need new software to run this. A customer list, broadcast emails, and discount codes are enough to start today. Start your creator store, free, at store.fan.